Welcome back. Britney Spears' recent troubles have put the spotlight on a term we've all heard of, but a lot of us don't really understand: conservatorship. Britney's dad, Jamie, was named legal guardian of her estate, and essentially that's her conservator.
Having her dad in control of her affairs seems to be working for Britney, but not all conservators act in their ward's best interest.
No, as our New York affiliate WNYW first reported, thousands of Americans, especially senior citizens, are falling prey to these unscrupulous guardians. And here's the catch: it's all legal.
The court may have made him my guardian, but he has made himself God.
82-year-old Estevaren's family asked a judge for help, a legal guardian to take care of all of her affairs.
He takes over your life completely. You have no identity whatsoever. Your assets are in his control.
But 8 months later, they say the appointed conservator, Sam Rausman, has been up to no good, locking her out of her home, canceling her credit cards, and taking control of her bank account.
The whole thing from start to finish is money, 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 dinero. He has been spending my money like a drunken sailor.
Esther believes she's about to lose everything. Rausman has not paid the bills on her apartments in New York or Florida, but has managed to charge her estate over $15,000 for his work. In total, Esther's $235,000 nest egg has been whittled down to a little over $43,000.
In his way, he's killing me.
And Esther is not alone.
You're no longer able to say where you live, who you see, how your money's spent. Some stranger is making all those decisions for you.
After a battle in court over custody, Ann Haynes' 76-year-old mother, Maydell, was given a conservator, Mark Della Valle. Taking control of Maydell's $1 million bank account, Della Valle billed big bucks to her estate for everything he did. The total, $103,000.
And that's my parents' hard-earned savings going out the window.
Given no access to their joint bank account, Maydell's 80-year-old husband had to take out a mortgage to stay afloat.
Well, joining us this morning is Esther Veron, who is fighting to get rid of her guardian. Thank you for being here, Esther.
Also, we have Ann Haynes. Her mom, Maydell, has a conservator, and she's had one for more than 4 years. And the award-winning investigative reporter, Mary Garofalo, is here. She broke this story.
Well, still with us down there on the end, former district attorney and Superior Court Judge Janine Pirro. Esther, thank you for coming and talking about this.
My pleasure. I was looking forward to being here.
Oh, we look forward to having you here. My goodness. You and your husband lived such a great life together and earned all this money, and maybe $250,000. More. Well, God, your husband would be heartbroken to see how you're having to deal with this.
I lost my husband 2 years ago, and I am absolutely still in a state of shock and devastated that something like this can happen to me or anybody else in this world. It is so wrong.
It's so wrong. Esther, you have an apartment in Great Neck. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, lovely deck. Terrace. You haven't been able to live in this apartment.
No.
Why?
The building didn't want me. The building doesn't want me to be there, and neither does Sam Rausman. He wouldn't give me the keys. Right now, believe it or not, I'm not embarrassed to say that I need underwear. I need bras and panties that are lying in my lingerie drawer that I can't get to because I cannot go to my apartment.
And this Sam Rausman you talk about is your conservator. Ginny, why can't she just bust in that door? Kick in the door.
You know, a conservator is someone who basically takes control of your life, as Esther so articulately said. A conservator is someone who is assigned by the court to run Esther's life, to spend her money, to decide where she lives, who she sees, what she eats, and she can't break that unless there is some, finding by the judge who appointed the conservator in the first place to take her and to not have her be a ward of the court.
And she can't go to her home. She can't get, as she was saying, her underwear, her lingerie drawer, access to pictures, mementos, things like that. Mary, this is...
Well, we snuck her out of her nursing home, and we took her back. She hadn't been back in 8 months. And in fact, she had to borrow a coat from her grandson. It was a freezing winter day, and she didn't have a coat. She has a mink coat locked inside. And I think that's what what made it a story for me was that all of this is legal. It's being sanctioned by the courts. It's happening to our national treasures, people who have lived long lives, who have done so much to save money in their lives. And these strangers are coming in and basically pillaging these their bank accounts and taking everything they've ever worked for.
Esther, why did your family feel you needed a conservator in the first place?
Well, my children, I might say, are very supportive. They've been behind me right from the start, and I love them dearly for that. But by the same token, they know that the building contacted them and told them that if they don't put me into an assisted living, it's different than a nursing home, that I would lose my apartment.
Why does the building not want you to be there?
That's a question I can't answer.
You
having wild parties there or something, Esther?
I wish.
Staying up all night?
You're invited to the next one.
All right. Cocktails all around. Mary, what'd you find out?
Well, she lived in this apartment building for some time with her husband. 10 years. She took care of her husband who had Alzheimer's. And when he passed away, like any elderly person, it became a little bit of a job. And there was a couple of incidents where they felt that, you know, maybe she didn't turn off the handles of her gas. They didn't think that she could live in there alone, and they tried to evict her, and that's why Sam Rossman came into the picture.
No. Actually, what happened was I was out visiting my son for lunch one Sunday, and when I came back, they told me that I left the gas on. They broke the door down, and that was not a fact. First of all, I can't leave the gas on. I have a brand new stove that if you put the gas on, it goes
I have one of those too.
Yeah.
You know what? You seem pretty together to me. But Jeannie, why can't they just fire that conservator?
Because you've got and I have to be delicate about this, but maybe I won't be. You've got a collaboration between a court and an attorney who is making his money because he's appointed. The question is, why did the judge appoint him? Why? Because he helped him, not in this particular case, get elected. I mean, there's like
you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's how you.
It's an old boys club, is what it is, and there should be a rotation. And some conservators get more cases than others.
No
one
one really know
why.
monitoring whether there's a rotation. No one is monitoring how these guys get on the list. Is it because they're an old buddy, a golf buddy? And then in the meantime, Esther, who is as articulate as anyone can be on this panel this morning, is out of her house. How dare they?
When we come back, we want to hear your story about your mom and your dad and where your conservatorship situation is. We'll get to that in just a second.
And we're going to hear from a conservator himself coming up. We'll be right back.